Are you confused with HDMI technology? And we've talked about it for years, and there is some stuff in there that can confuse all of us, and we're here to straighten that out because our next guest can help us understand it all better. He is the president of HDMI Licensing, Steve Venuti. Steve, welcome back into Tomorrow. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me back.
It's a pleasure. I think last time was actually at this event here in New York.
That is correct, 1 year ago.
Yes, and things have changed, have they not,
They
since a year?
They always change, but
Yes.
in our world, they have changed quite a bit.
And for the better, some pretty cool technology improving HDMI.
So we have launched a new version of HDMI, or HDMI version 1.4.
And what makes 1.4 different from any previous version?
Well, we've added a lot of new features that we see coming into the consumer electronics world and the world of the home theater in the next 2, 3, 4 years. So, for example, 3D. Now 3D, which is going to be a big thing, is now able to be transported over HDMI, and we specified how to do that. 4K, 2K, so that's 4 times the resolution of 1080p. Everybody's so happy. I know they're so happy with their 1080p displays.
Yeah.
They thought that's it. That's it.
We thought it was future-proofing to buy a 1080p.
Well, of course, it was future-proof back then.
Oh, great!
But there's a new future.
Now we're into tomorrow already.
Exactly. Tomorrow's different than yesterday's tomorrow, and we have 4x 1080p, and that's incredible new resolution. Now we won't see that for a while, but
I was going to say there's no content.
There's no content,
4X.
but there will be DVD players that are going to upscale to 4K, 2K. Wow. So the content, you're absolutely right, the content does not exist, but that doesn't mean the source device can't upscale and send that better resolution, higher resolution to the display.
And we've also heard about ultra high def, which is also into tomorrow, but is that also going to be delivered on HDMI?
That's delivered on HDMI. We've also added Ethernet. We've added Ethernet, so we have an Ethernet channel now over HDMI. So HDMI, you think about HDMI, it's combining all your audio and video cables into one.
And now networking.
Networking.
Wow.
So we've added an Ethernet channel into that one cable.
And that's with the 1.4. We have Ethernet now.
1.4. We've also added audio return channel, which means now you can pump audio upstream, not just downstream, but upstream. So where would you want to do that? You've got a cable box or something, or let's say a cable card inside your TV. You're getting the video and audio in your TV. How do you get that audio back to your AV receiver? Well, right now you have to have an extra cable to do that. Now it can happen over HDMI. So again, HDMI consolidating cables. We've got a lot smaller connector. We've got a micro connector the size of a micro USB. So we see HDMI on portable devices, on cell phones, on all sorts of things that are going to be sources of HD content. We've got an automotive connector. So believe it or not, automobiles are going to have HDMI as the distribution for the HD content in their entertainment systems, in their dashboards.
So we're going to be looking at high def in the back seat to entertain the kids.
That is correct.
And HDMI is going to deliver it.
That's correct. That's correct. So we see HDMI doing more and doing more in more places with 1.4.
Unbelievable. Well, then what are we not doing that is there going to be a 1.5? Is that the next thing? I know 1.4 just came out and just got approved, but what's next into tomorrow?
No, we're calling a stop on all future development. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it never stops. I don't know. We're just discussing what next. So what do we do at HDMI? We're always kind of ahead of the market because if you can't get it from one device to another, you're not going to build the functionality in. So we have to build that functionality in. We'll look at what the trends are going to be 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years ahead, and we'll look at what the next version of HDMI has to do.
Now, are there products available now that are supporting the 1.4 standard?
Not now, but there will be, I assume, this holiday season. I think at CES we'll see a bunch of new products introduced, and I think you'll really see them next year, probably the spring lineup. We'll see a lot of products that have some of this functionality.
Very cool stuff. I mean, I'm glad that you could take the time to chat with us about it as well because your end of the world, the HDMI licensing, certainly does a lot for the industry. And with as much time, in this case, little time, I think, that some people have to do adoption sorts of things, it's great to have those standards that are set and say, now let's move on from here and just do more cool things for all of us consumers.
Well, that's what we're here to do. So I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about 1.4 and HDMI.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, Steve. HDMI.org for more information. You
That
can
is
learn
correct.
all about the 1.4 standard, among other things, and the future goodies as they become available. Check it out, HDMI.org. We'll get you there, too, when you visit our site. Back with more from New York, I'm Dave Graveline. This is Into Tomorrow on the Advanced Media Network.